Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and I thought I would start it off with one of the guys coming out of 2013 that what I consider, you had one of those years that you just don't want to end, and we talk about it all the time on the show, and that's Rusty Poland, driver of the 44 in the past Sportsman Series. So welcome to Mainly Motorsports, Russ.
Thanks for having me on.
So 2013, it don't get no better, does it? Other than winning the championship and maybe getting that first win, you were the guy that everybody talked about on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it was a pretty good feeling, showing up to the track, and we were fast everywhere we went. I don't think we finished out of the top 5 once, and that was the first Beechridge race. The car just wasn't really there. But it's a great feeling showing up and being with Kerry Martin, Dan McCagg, Joey Pastore, and looking at them and going, I'm just as fast, if not faster. And it was a stellar year for us. We had good runs. We got lucky on draw. It was a good year. So.
Yeah, but you as a racer were smart. Because I think one of the hardest things to do, and I think back years ago, and this was probably before your time, and your dad probably remember it, was a young driver by the name of David Pinkham. I remember when he was close to getting his first win, and he literally fenced Jimmy Emerson to get it. But you get in those pressure situations that you want that first win. And you were close on many occasions last year, but you didn't do anything stupid. Yeah, you might have ended up with the win at the end, but lost a lot of respect, So, that win's just around the corner, and, how close?
I honestly think, depending on how the winter goes, how much we really focus on setup. My dad's down in the grip seminar right now, so hopefully he comes back with some good information for us. But I don't see why we couldn't win the first race of the year. We're fast, we're good, we write everything down. The car, we haven't touched anything that would really slow us down or hurt us. So I don't know why we couldn't win the first race of the year, other than bad luck.
How many years have you been in this type of race car, the Sports Series?
I've been in the Sports Series for 4 years now, technically like 3.5, because the first year in, right after the 100 lapper at Beechridge, I broke my ankle. So that put me out for the rest of the year. We put Pinkham in it, Phil Pinkham, and he raced about half the season just trying to figure the car out because we had an old metric car and couldn't get the car figured out. We went to Danny and Corey Bubar, and we built a twin to his car, and we've just worked from there.
Yeah, and everybody knows how that car went for Corey, and then continues to go for Joey.
Yeah.
But, we talk about teams, and, you probably of any team racing at that level has the most experience behind you as far as crew members. Your dad, Wayne, I know the sport has changed, but it's still, there's 4 race cars, 4 springs, 4 shocks.
Yeah.
That's it. And, his experience. But then Chum, how many years has your grandfather been doing it?
Chum's been, it's got to be like 50 plus. The guy's just, I hate to age him, but he's been around. He knows every in and out, part, inch. He knows what everything does. He's just, what he knows and what he can remember and what he can pass on is amazing. And if you have a conversation with him and you listen for 5 minutes, you're going to learn at least 10 things. He's amazing.
And I don't know how old he is. We don't care how old he is, but he doesn't act how old he is.
No.
You know what I mean? And he's at the racetrack. And I think when it really hit me and how much this guy loves the sport, because I've seen him for years. And, since I've took over Mainly Motorsports, I've spent more time talking to him than I ever did. But I think when it really hit me was when, we were up to MX207 at the end of the year, and you were racing the go-karts and some other family members and just kind of having fun. But Chum was there. He was a part of it. He was running around. He was working. I kind of sat back that day and I said, this guy really loves racing. To come up here at this level and we're just having fun, but he's still putting his heart and soul into it,
Yeah, he loves anything with wheels and a motor, really. But, we were done with pass for the year, really, so I went and got a go-kart from a guy I actually used to race for at Richmond. It's a go-kart that I ran when I was 6 or 7 years old, I think. And Chum comes over one day and he looks in the garage. He goes, "What is that?" "What do you think it is?" "It's a go-kart, Chum." "What are you doing with that?" And I told him, "We're on the 207. And then we showed up, my girlfriend Amanda, her brother, I got him and his son Colby into it. So next thing you know, there's 2 more karts in the garage. And Chum kind of walks out and just shakes his head. And I actually stayed home from work sick one day and come out in the garage because I could hear him out there. And Chum's working, hanging bodies. I was like, "What are you doing?" well, got nothing else to do, so I might as well do this. I mean, he's die-hard. He's always there for you. I mean, you can count on him no matter what, and he's just great to have around. He's by far MVP on my crew.
Well, and you know, what's great about the sport of auto racing is when you can do it with your family. You know, you're getting to do it with your dad, your mom, and then your grandfather. I mean, it don't get no better. And, you know, I know a lot of your friends from the Wyndham area, they get the same opportunities. Their families are heavily involved. But I think a lot of that comes from you guys started at such a young age in the go-karts, right? I mean, is that where you started your career?
Yeah, the karts definitely started everything. I mean, I started off at Richmond in the kids' karts. I was 4.5 years old. We moved on to, we ended up going to divisionals, 4-time divisional champion. We raced nationals. I think, I'm not 100% sure on the stats, but I think we were the first people from Maine to win a national championship. I think the Lovejoys ended up getting a championship, so we're not the only ones. But, I mean, the go-karts really start everything. Go-karts teach you to be smooth. They teach you not, I mean, they're open wheel, the ones we were running, champ karts. So they teach you not to bounce off of each other. You gotta learn how to race. And we went to Thunder Road, Vermont. I mean, we had blue plates, we were restricted, and we were doing almost 100 miles an hour in the draft.
Well, you were right on the actual Thunder Road?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, you learn some really cool stuff. You go to really cool places. You meet great people. And it really, all the go-kart kids that I've seen get into a full-body race car, I think, have a huge advantage just from the get-go because they know so much more about being smooth and learning stuff like that.
And the open wheels help you because you can't race with 3 wheels. Now, did you take time off from the go-karts?
We took off about a year. We raced the nationals, and we were that was when the Whiz Kids were big, and we were going to get into the Whiz Kids. For some reason, it just didn't really, we didn't get it going. And a guy that's really close friends with us, Martin and Craig Ramsey, he had got a kids truck at White Mountain, and his kid wasn't running it. So he asked my dad, he's like, well, let's bring it to the house and let's put Rusty in it. So we mounted my seat in it and we got it ready. And I think we raced 3 times up there. Definitely wasn't anything to be proud of. The truck wasn't that great of a truck. I mean, it was kind of just threw it together to get some experience, learn body roll. Never been used to that before.
Yeah, because the go-karts, there's no springs and shocks.
Yeah, everything's rigid. So, but yeah, we did that, and then I think I might have took probably another year off, and then we found the metric car, and I begged and pleaded for Dad to get in. Just come on, we have to race. I want to go to Beech Ridge, and got him convinced in it. We built the car over the winter, did some updates to it, and then started racing the sports series.
So about 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad, and I mean, obviously success. Now you're at the past sportsman level. You were at Beech Ridge, and then you've gone out there. Compare Saturday night racing against a lot of your friends, you know, 35 laps, 30 laps, to a race now you got 75 laps. I mean, how big of a difference is it for the driver and the setup and all the stuff that goes along with it?
Don't let the other guys rough you up. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Clark's Eastside Scrap and Westside Scrap, 2 of the region's most efficient scrap yards. Both locations have the latest and greatest equipment, along with large capacity scales that are constantly calibrated to ensure honest weights. Car crushing, roll-off containers, scrap metal. Clark's Eastside Scrap in Chelsea and Clark's Westside Scrap in Farmingdale. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Mainely Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
How big of a difference is it for the driver and the setup and all the stuff that goes along with it?
It is an absolute huge difference. It was for us at least. You got like the 35 lap race, you kind of just you go the whole time, pick off every spot you can get, try to be smart so you don't rip the nose off it. Then you get into pass, and like the 300, we finished second, and we were really strong in the 300. I told my dad that was probably the most boring race I've ever been in. He just kind of looked at me. He's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, I think I rode half throttle for 60 laps that race. I was like, and I don't think I ever really got full throttle except for the green-white checker with Joey.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to be smart. You got to plan who you pass, when you pass, where you're going to ride, what groove's moving. I mean, you really have to think about it. And when you got guys like Kerry Martin that he can run 29th place for 80 laps, and on lap 99 he's on the outside of you going for the lead. So, I mean, you really got to be with it. You got to know who's going to do what, who to trust. So.
You know, it's funny you mentioned a guy like Kerry Martin because, you know, there's a guy, I mean, he ran the old Super Sportsman at Beech Ridge, but he's never got the opportunity to go any further.
Yeah.
You know? And it's funny is, tying Terry Martin into you, I got a Kerry Martin story, and it involves your dad.
Oh, boy.
It was 95? Donnie Culper was driving for me. We went into the last night, and we were tied for the points. So whoever beat who, and it was only a feature, whoever beat who was the champion. So, you know, you're all worried, and, you know, now this is where friendships come into play, and I hate to say it, and this is where, if you've roughed somebody up, this is where you're going to find out who you roughed up. And it was funny, they had a red flag, and I can't remember who wrecked on the front stretch pretty hard, and Kerry was stuck on the outside, and Donnie, we were on the inside a few rows back, and he says, I looked up, and Kerry was pointing to your dad, like on the restart would he let him in, and he says, watch your dad's head, you know, you could see it in the mirror turning, nope. So he must have ruffled your dad's feather at one point. But, you know, there's a guy, Kerry's been doing it so long, you know, his stuff never looks immaculate, never looks fancy, but he is behind the wheel of a race guy. He's a damn good racer.
He is probably the best past sportsman driver around. I mean, I called him my mentor for the last 2 years because we went up to him at Oxford the first year. I raced the end of the year pass race. And I told him, I was like, I've never been to a different track in a race car. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. He runs the very top of the racetrack. He runs in the dirt just about. So I didn't really want to follow his line, but I was trying to, you know, figure out what to do. And he's helped us with everything he could. We've helped him as much as we could. We've had a little joke going around. I can't really say it on TV, but something about Camaros, and real race car drivers don't drive Camaros. Yeah. And we switched cars at the last race of the year. Of course, he's leading the championship. I'm second in points. Joey's third. Let's switch cars. Great idea. But I went out in that, and he expected me to come in and go up one side of him and down the other and tell him how much I hated it. And I got out, and I looked at him, and I go, I know why you win so many races. And he just kind of chuckled and looked at me. I was like, but it's definitely not you. It's all the car. He just kind of laughed. But he's been a huge help to us. I mean, his knowledge has come towards us, and I think he's helped us probably more than he should have, because now we're a threat to him.
Yeah, no, obviously now you're on his back bumper. And, you know, it's a shame in this sport, and it's so money-driven, sponsor-wise or family money. And, you know, a guy like Kerry hasn't had the opportunity to advance to the next level, you know. And yeah. I remember when the old Speedway Scene days, you know, I think it was Dan Ayotte, and he used to write the first, you know, the article on the first page, and, you know, we're just talking about one thing, and I remember him saying, at some point, Kerry Martin would win the Oxford 250, and I mean, he had a couple opportunities as it was late model, but probably never get another opportunity, and that's a shame.
Yeah, it is too bad, but I think his career is not over yet. I mean, he's still going. He's still got plenty of opportunities. It's just finding the right chance and the right time. That's what I've found. I mean, we're a low budget team. It's just me, my dad. It's my family, but I don't have any really huge people that are willing to step on and just, okay, here's $50,000, go get a pro stock, go try it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if you just wait, he'll find the right time. Hopefully we'll find the right time.
Well, it's like you guys. I mean, what's the plans for 2014?
2014, we're going to race the full pass tour. We're going to go for the championship. I mean, we were almost there this year. I don't know why we can't do it again next year. And then hopefully, as we get halfway through the year, start looking into the pro stock deal a little bit more. Probably get rid of our car, sell that, and hopefully we'll, at the end of the year, be the past champions, and we'll be able to start off 2015 with a pro stock. But it's a lot of variables to happen.
Well, no, that's a lot of variables, but you want to come into it with goals. Everybody has goals, right? So it's good to have those goals, and everybody's working towards them. And I know the family, that's what they want. And obviously Chum, and how cool would it be to get to that what we all consider top level racing around there in the Northeast with Chum still around and working his tail off.
Yeah. We definitely, the biggest thing is at least get a win. I mean, I don't know why we couldn't get a couple. There's plenty of fast people, but I mean, we're just as fast. I'm sure Dan McKeag's going to be hard to beat this year. There's going to be, I don't know what Joey's doing, but Joey's there. He's going to be hard to beat. You never know who's coming in for new people that are going to be fast. I know Alex is coming in, and he's racing Dan's old car. Yeah. So Alex.
Yeah, and you never know who's going to show up there when you go to different racetracks.
Yeah.
And I always say, when you get to the racetrack, when you can run top 5 and you run in top 3, anything can happen. You can be the third place car and end up in victory lane. So, so good luck to you and your entire team on 2014, and thank you for taking the time with us and coming down and taking Greg's spot and opening the show. And I'm sure, I mean, it's 2 months away. Racing's coming.
It's right around the corner. I can't wait. So.
All right, that's the driver of the number 44 in the past Sportsman Series, Rusty Poland. Take a break and we'll be right back.
Award Champs LLC is Southern Maine's premier award supplier and official award supplier for many of the area's top organizations and events. If you're in need of an award for a sponsor, employee recognition, fundraising event, or an entire sports organization, call Todd Mead at Award Champ. They provide the best for less with competitive pricing like the big online firms, but give you the personalized service you can only get from a local supplier. When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Hi, I'm Johnny Wolf.
And I'm Dan Wolf. We've been selling and servicing vehicles on Route 25 in Gorham since 1972.
Wolf Auto Service offers state inspections, tires, brakes, and suspension.
21st Century Motors has a great selection of cars and trucks starting at $29.99.
With no mortgage and low overhead, we sell and service at guaranteed lowest prices.
We're just 6 miles west of Turnpike Exit 47 on Route 25 in Gorham. Online at 21stcenturymaine.com.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
We go from one Windham racer to another Windham racer, and that's Corey Bubar, and I want to welcome you to the show. You've been on before. I mean, it seems like just yesterday we were introducing you as the 10th young gun.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually looking at the picture the other day. I mean, I know a couple of them have kind of vanished off the face of the earth, but for the most part, when the fans spoke, they knew what they were talking about, because every one of you has had a lot of success in race cars.
Yeah, there's some pretty big talent on that.
Yeah, and you know, you looked at 2013, you made the big step to go race the Pro All-Star Series. Now, I know you and your dad, there was a lot of conversations went back and forth what to do, and you guys went and did it. And, you know, other than the injury, how was the experience? You know?
Probably the most I've ever learned in any 1 year of racing. And we only did 7 races plus that one race at Beech Ridge, but it's just, you have to have a whole different mindset with it. So.
Well, it's funny, and that's what Rusty talked about, you know, the 35 lap, you know, mentality versus, you know, now you got 150 lap mentality. And but probably, even though it didn't finish, how big a deal was it the way you and your team went into 250 weekend, ran the 250, and, you know, opened a lot of eyes, you know?
Yeah, that was a big race. We came into that weekend, Friday was practice day, we were horrible. There was some stuff we tried on the chassis that we just didn't quite have right, and it was not good. And we worked with it all day Saturday, and we made it 180 degrees. It was way different. And Dan and Greg helped a big deal on that, and we just had a good long tire run, long tire car. So. Well,
it was funny because, you know, I love those races, and, you know, I'm at the point now, I've been to so many races. Anytime I go to a race, I just want to see somebody win that's never won, because it is an exciting thing, you know. But then when you have a race like that, it isn't necessarily about the win. It's that guy making a name for himself. And I remember for the whole week after, you know, talking to different people about the 250, and, you know, there wasn't a conversation I had with anybody that your name didn't come up. And it's, how about that Bubar? How about Bubar? You know, and I mean, so those are, you know, you didn't win the race, you didn't even finish the race, but you know, you made a lasting impression. Now when those people go to different races and you're there, they're now watching you, whereas before you were an afterthought, you know?
Right, I think like when you go to a race like that, like all the fans from Beech Ridge go to Beech Ridge, and you're like, when you're the car up front, you're carrying the banner for all those guys. They have someone to cheer for, so it's kind of like that.
Yeah, no,
good.
Obviously all the Beech Ridge fans, just because you went to pass for a year, they didn't forget about you.
Right.
But then you also had a great run at you know, a couple of the other pass races.
Yeah, the 300 was a good one. I really thought we should have won that race, but there was a couple of mistakes I made that I probably got a little impatient on.
So that you went racing 300 laps with the 35-lap mentality? Or?
Well, I think it was the expectations. You know, I wanted to go back to Beech Ridge. I wanted to win that race. I really thought we could win that race. And I just, with about 50 to go, I got impatient and tried to put a pick on Austin with a lap car, and it came back to bite me. So.
Yeah, but still, you ended up with a decent finish, right?
Yeah, still got fourth. So.
Yeah. So, and I mean, but you learned from it, right? I mean, and is that something your dad tells you all the time when you make a mistake? That not that you make a lot of mistakes because you were a very talented racer, but as long as you learned something from your mistake, it was worth the mistake.
Right. Probably next time I probably would listen to him, because he was telling me the whole time just stay in second. Greg was telling me stay in second, but I thought that was my chance to go. It was a little too early.
Yeah. Now you know, and it seemed like to me watching that race, you know, Austin drove that race like a Mike Rowe would drive that race. Went just as fast as he needed to.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I think what happens with young racers, they don't realize that that's what's happening. You know, you know, when that guy needs to step on it, he's going to be able to step on it. You know, so and then I've seen it happen more than once where a guy gets out of line, and you know, who was running second, third, or fourth, now he finds himself 10th, 11th, or 12th.
Yeah.
You know,
go back pretty quick. Yeah.
So I mean, the injury that set you back, but it also taught you some things too. You know, and you got to sit on the outside looking in. I mean, even though there was a lot of rained out races while you were injured, you know. But what about 2014?
Plan is to go back to Beech Ridge full time and try to run for the championship. So I think we have a really good car at Beech Ridge right now. So
how important is that championship? I mean, to Corey Bubar, you know.
I think it would be really important. It would be something my dad never did, and I think it's. For him to help me get there, that would be a big thing.
Yeah, and you know, you won the Sports Series championship. Your dad won it, so
yeah.
He had some success in some of the bigger races. You know, never won one, but had some success. You've had some success, never won one. So to be able to get that championship, not that it's a one-up thing, but it's almost, this is the way I look at it. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but it's almost like you're handing him something as well. Not that you're trying to show him up, but you know what, Dad, I got this for both of us. Now we can both call ourselves champions, you know?
Right, and I don't think he sees it that way, as I would be better than him, because I really think he's better than me. But
yeah, no, he's a talented racer. You know, he's one of those racers that I think, you know, realized, you know, that it was your time, stepped back, and he's enjoying himself with you and trying to teach you, you know, because you do have two totally different styles.
Yeah, we do. He got in my car one time. It was a Sports Series car. He got in it. He could not drive the thing. He said, I'm done racing. I can't do this. The setups just came too far.
Yeah. So the championship at Beech Ridge, you got the same team. And we've talked about this when I had you on the show before.
Yeah.
It's so neat to watch some of the guys that have raced with you and raced with your dad too, you know?
Yeah, they're all with us. Keith, Jeffrey, Tizzer, Jeff's kids, Zach and Jay. My mom helps a lot, my sister. So it's all the same people.
And then
really
you're like every other young driver from the town of Windham. You got a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
You guys all got girlfriends.
Yeah.
Right? So we didn't talk much about it with Rusty, but you guys, a lot of you guys in Windham, what is it in Windham that, I mean, we have so many talented racers.
I don't know what it is.
And the funny part about it is you guys all get along. I mean, I know there's been a couple issues where I've heard from people that, you know, this happened at the track and it carried over a little bit, but it, you know, usually goes away. But for the most part, you guys are hanging out together. And I mean, obviously it's easy for you and Rusty. You're not racing against each other, but even when you do race against each other, I don't see, you know, where there's going to be the issues. There might be a night where you're not happy with them, like we saw last year with like DJ and Joey. But you know, that's the competitive nature in you. But you guys all get along, and it's how much when you guys are out do you talk racing? Is that all the talk is, or is it?
Yeah, pretty much most of the time it's all racing. we snowmobile together. So.
Speaking of snowmobiling, right? You got the One Lunger race coming up in Turner.
That's this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah.
No kidding. So I didn't hear anything about it, but you got the same sled?
Yeah, same one. As long as I don't spin out, I think I should be all right.
Tell everybody how bad that beat you up, though.
It's bad. You pretty much lay in bed all day the next day, something. It beats you up.
So for a guy like Greg Emerson's size, I mean, that would really hurt him, right? I mean, you're a little guy, so can you imagine Greg?
You might hurt the sled a little more.
Hurt the sled? That's why Greg's never done it, because there's no, they put him on the sled, and I remember the year me and him did a half-lap race. I mean, they threw the green, and he was like, I thought his sled stalled before it finally got going. It was like that little train that couldn't or could. But, no, I mean, so you got to be excited, go back to Beech Ridge. I mean, you grew up there.
Yeah,
you watched,
that's my home.
Your friends, you watched other guys, and yeah, so to go back there with the goal of the championship, and I'll tell you, whoever wins that championship this year, they've earned it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cars.
A lot of cars.
A lot of good cars.
Good cars. It's when you talk about quantity and quality, Beech Ridge has an abundance of quality in their quantity. Yeah. And I mean, some of the new guys, the young kids that are coming, like Lanfer, John Peters, these guys have proven they can win races in anything they're in.
Yeah, it's going to be a good rookie class, too.
Yeah, and then you bring Jacob Dorr in from Star. I mean, no full-bodied experience, but, open-wheel mod to win championships down there and race some of the guys he races against. And then bring you back, Mike Landry back. I mean, I think the only two they're probably losing is Tardif and Mike Rowe. So you lost two and you gained 5 or 6. So,
right.
I mean, Andy's got to be loving that. And they made a little bit of change, right, with the purse and things like that?
Yeah, it'll be a little different, a little more payout. So
it'll be exciting, huh?
Yeah.
It'll be easy to put the fenders back on after you rip them off, right?
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you and your team in 2014. And obviously we spend a lot of time at Beech Ridge, and it's exciting. And all this young talent, I mean, just so much young talent. And, here we have a guy like Mike Rowe that everybody's still talking about. But, these guys are 40 years younger than him, and they're right on his doorstep or his heels. So good luck to Corey Bubar, Rusty Poland, who we had on earlier. And take a break, and we'll be right back with Greg Emerson here on Mainely Motorsports.
At Southern Maine Chrysler Dodge Jeep, we truly do make it easy for our customers every step of the way.
At Southern Maine Motors, they made it really easy to find a car I like because of their wide selection, and they also help me finance.
At Southern Maine Motors, they make me feel like family. They made it so easy.
Looking for a new 2013 Chrysler Dodge or Jeep? You've got to check them out. You can't afford not to.
We are under construction, but we are open, so come on in, we'll make it easy.
The summer clearance event is going on now.
Hi, I'm Scott from Scott's Recreation. We're ready with over $1 million in snowmobile trailers, from clamshells to 5-place enclosed. Enclosed trailers starting at $19.99 in a variety of brands. Nobody has a better selection or better prices. We also offer a great selection of aluminum horse trailers made right here in Maine. And our showrooms are full of snow gear, all at discounted prices. See it all, in person or online.
Scott's Recreation, Route 4 Turner and Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
Mainly Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Scott's Recreation. Whether you're thinking about your first camper or looking to upgrade your current one, Scott's Recreation can help you. Get both our Route 202 Manchester and our Route 4 Turner locations and online at scottsrecreation.com.
LKQ Core. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
Ready, Greg?
Yeah.
Well, here I am with my big buddy and a couple of young, talented racers. I mean, you had a lot to do last year with Corey racing in the past, and he threw your name out there. And I mean, that had to make the learning curve for him and Danny on those longer distance races, a little bit easier to have.
Well, I think Danny knew the learning curve. I know that Danny knew the learning curve. The whole us participating with them was to get Corey and Danny off of each other, because they're father and son, and as well as I do, father and sons are like oil and water when it comes to opinions.
Yeah.
So that was just that, and Danny's always helped Dan McKeag, and so we just naturally, it turned into it was kind of like a partnership deal. Not only did we help them, but they came to Beech Ridge and helped us.
Yeah, you guys ended runner-up in the points.
So it worked out really well. Now we got to race against them.
Yeah.
I'll do you want me to do the Mike Lux?
No. Are you having hot dogs in your trailer? Because he ain't having them in his. Right?
Speaking of people feeding people in trailers, The other kid you had on here, Rusty Poland.
Oh, okay.
I've known that kid since before. I've known his mother longer than he's known his mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Angela?
She remembers me when I was a kid.
You want to say thank you to Angela?
Yeah, I do want to say thank you to Angela because she's always been kind and nice to me, and she raised a good young man, but he forgot to mention her when he was on the show. Yeah.
Well, you know what I think happens with these kids?
Talked about Chum.
Yeah.
Chum's, me and Chum go way back. So
these kids, they're so worried about, there's a lot of pressure on these kids at their age, right? And they got sponsors, and they got girlfriends, and they got jobs, and, you know, moms and dads get overlooked. So,
well, Rusty could not talk about his dad because his dad does everything for him.
Yeah. No, Chum was hanging.
Well, no, Chum does. Yeah, Chum does. And Corey could not talk about his dad because it's the same situation, but their moms. Corey. Okay, I know they're roommates, and I'm gonna on you right now. Well, I shouldn't have said. Dave's gonna bleep that.
Oh yeah, we'll bleep it.
But you gotta talk about your mom, Rusty. Your mom brought you into this world. Corey talked about his mom. She takes care of his tires. She does his tires and stuff. So,
speaking of moms, any feedback from your mom about last week's show? When I
can't wait for that.
Yeah, I like that was.
You're in trouble. I don't care. You're in trouble.
Well, I don't care either, but I mean, I do because I don't want to hurt your mom's feelings. But that was one of those situations. Like as I started putting my foot in my mouth, I just didn't get the toes in. I just kept jamming the whole thing, Because every time I opened my mouth, it kept sounding worse.
You couldn't get away from it.
Yeah, because when it's like one of those things, you're trying to get away, and you can't.
Right.
But she knows it was all in good fun, right?
I don't know. We'll find out.
What about your sister? Your sister really let me have
My
it.
sister is the only woman that you are scared of on this planet.
I'm not scared of anybody. The only thing I'm scared of is the dark. I'm scared of the dark. I'm not scared of anybody else.
Well, my sister is the Dark Lord. So.
The Dark Lord? She don't scare me.
She owns you.
She don't own me.
You know it.
Is she married?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say if she wasn't married, we'd have her on our girlfriend show.
Yeah, well.
We're going to have a girlfriend show. You know, the girlfriends that...
Maybe instead of girlfriends, you can just have a woman of racing.
Well, I did that a few years ago.
Who aren't drivers. I mean, you've had Laura on and stuff like that. But, you know...
What I was amazed with talking with the two young fellas, when they all go out, because they're all over Facebook, and they're at Pat's Pizza, or they're here, and they're all as their group, right? That they're all talking racing. You'd think they'd get sick of... They all got very attractive girlfriends. You think they would not want to talk racing.
I don't know.
What would you do?
I don't know.
Would you talk racing?
It's hard to explain. I was that way when I was young.
Do you still talk a lot of racing? If you're out with Missy and her friends, do you talk racing?
Well, not with her friends because none of them are into it like I am, but if there's somebody that's common, if somebody asks me about it, it's funny, if somebody starts asking me about racing who doesn't really know a lot about it, Missy will be like, don't even open up the can, don't talk, don't start it, yeah.
Now, I talked to Corey about the Young Gun thing. It seems like that was just yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, look at what those guys have done.
Yeah, and
girls.
Yeah, they all. I mean, look at what Shelby's done. Look what Corey's done. Look what Bobby Timmons has done. You know, just
Bradley,
Joey,
Austin. And, and I mean, yeah, and it was too bad that NASCAR did everything that they did with the K&N thing.
Yeah.
It really, tied our hands with what we were trying to do because you can't put a competition out there where the winner can't get his prize because NASCAR has their rules and all that, and I wish there was something else we could do. But it was neat to go through that whole process, and I don't think anybody, and the cool thing was I don't think anybody questioned who the winner was, and I'm sure they don't question it today. And we're going to have him on in our next segment, and that's Austin Theriault. A lot of things hopefully happen in his future, and the last couple of years he's
done really well for himself. I mean, he's made this step. I mean, he just. What did he finish third a few weeks ago?
Yeah, down the Speed Fest, and he's coming off, the third at the Derby. Or was he ended up second, right?
Yeah.
No, third, because he
ended up third.
Elliott got DQ'd, and that worked out. That really hurt Elliott's career, getting DQ'd.
Yeah, not a bit.
Ends up with JR Motorsports and Napa. So
yeah,
but no, and so Austin's really done a good job, and he's trying to pick his path, and just goes to show how hard it is.
Yeah, and knowing the right people and keep yourself out there, that's what it's all about. So these days, it's about that and, some other things that we don't like to talk about because
Oh, it's money.
It's money.
It's all money. I mean, we talked about it with, Rusty earlier.
We're poor.
What he hopes to accomplish this year, and looking forward. He's already thinking, he's already thinking of 2015 because he knows that in order for it to happen, it has to start happening in 2014.
Rusty talked a lot about Chum, and you and I know a lot of Chum's past, and Chum's come from the days of...
I think Chum was there when they cut the first tree to build Beechridge.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's built late models, what we called late models back when I was a kid and you were a kid and stuff like that were pretty much home built.
Yeah.
And now he's going to the phase where it's pretty much you buy everything.
Yeah.
You start getting into the pro stocks and the late models and stuff, and the chassis is from the ground up is bought at some point. There's hardly anything that you make.
Yep.
So it's one extreme to the other. That transition, Chum has done a pretty good job of it over the years, seeing the things, but I think it'll really hit them when they try to get that, go for that.
Yeah, because it has changed. I mean,
and he was known for being really creative back in the day.
It's funny you talk about change. I mean, we're not that old. I think you're older than I am.
I doubt it. I look older than you, but I'm not.
You actually do. How old are you?
I just turned 40. I'm naughty 40 this year.
Hey, you know what? It's funny. I wasn't even going there tonight. This is Wednesday. It's my birthday.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't even going there. I just didn't think. But yeah, you do look older than me. But
wait a second. I just said my age. How old are you?
Nobody's going to believe me because I don't look that old.
Well, if I shave this ragamuffin beard I got going on,
you got a lot of grays and stuff. I got none.
Yeah.
I give them, not get them. I'm 48. Not bad for 48 now. I mean, I know the shapely, pear shapely, or whatever. My favorite shape is circle. But other than that, there's nothing to think that I'm 48, right? Yeah. I mean, honestly, be honest.
I would never guess that.
And I know I have to because I have older kids. They're 14 and 16. So, but yeah, I feel in my 30s and act in my teens, and yeah. But I'm 48. So happy birthday to me.
I would guess. If I was to guess, I would say you were, 40.
Yeah,
41.
so that's not bad. But anyway, that's not where I was going with this. Where I'm going is how much we've changed or seen the change in the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about the limited racing. Last week when we went to breakfast, we were talking to Don Tapley. Talked about when he raced the limiteds, that was the Wildcats then.
It's pretty much like what, you go, like when let's say when David Pinkham won the championship in limiteds.
Yeah.
From that era, him, Glenn Cusack, that whole era, from what those cars were then to what the Wildcats are now, you're above that.
Yeah.
Almost, And the sports series is pretty much a super sportsman. What we raced as super sportsmen's back in the mid-90s, it's pretty much surpassed that, other than the slick tire.
So you imagine how much we've seen the change.
Yeah.
Take somebody like you said, Chum. He's seen... they came in with almost like a horse and a chariot.
An A-class that had a complete heavy steel cut-down model Ford on it, or something, so it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, you're right. But, no, it is fun to watch.
Ask Chum sometime about wrecking in the car pile. They used to pile the cars up over by where the bar is now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He wrecked into the car pile and just climbed out.
But it is pretty neat to see these young kids. I mean, they really make you feel old when we raced against Danny Bubar, and now we're watching his kid be one of the top drivers.
And Wayne Poland, that's how I got to know.
Same thing with Wayne, and now...
That's how I got to know Wayne and Chum was when I was helping my Uncle Gordon, we parked next to him. So,
yeah.
Over the years, me and Chum had some good chats.
So it's neat to see the next generation become racers. They're not just racing, they've become racers.
Right. It makes me feel old when I sit here and you get me thinking about stuff, and I'm sitting here thinking, I remember when Angela became pregnant with Rusty.
Were you there?
No.
Oh, okay. No,
I wouldn't take credit for that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, were you there? I mean, I don't know. Wild parties just happens, right? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Another beep, Dave.
Yeah, another beep. This is full of beeps. We bring the kids and we beep. This don't happen when we bring old people, right? It's the kids. They bring it out in us. Yeah. But no, you're right, and it's just amazing. And I sit up in the bleachers and watch these kids in these race cars, and they get out of them, and it's funny is I saw an article last week about Joey Pole on the Actor. He's like one of the old guys now. And he's 25. He's 25, you know, and he's considered, because Hallowell's moved on, Hoare's moved on, you know, and really
He's considered the veteran now.
Yeah,
And
I mean, at 25.
yeah.
And I was talking.
Times have changed.
You know, I was talking to Fred Dorr the other day. Picked up some lettering, and we were talking about Jacob. You know, I said, when did he start racing? He started racing at 8. He's 24. He's raced for 16 years. You know, same with like these other kids. I mean, so do you get burned out? Are the days of seeing the guy racing into his 60s like Mike Rowe gone? What do you think? I mean, I know they all love it now, but
I don't know if they're gone.
I mean, can Corey Bubar picture himself 40 more years in a race car?
I don't know.
I guess we'll have to ask Corey's girlfriend when we have her on the girlfriend show.
Yeah, maybe. And I think he could. You know, he's so little and frail. You know, when he crashes, he hurts himself every time. So
really?
That was a dig to Corey. I had to.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Could be big and beefy like you and never be able to get to.
Well, he made fun of me on the snowmobile about crushing the snowmobile if I was on it.
You wouldn't even see it. It's like, is that a track under there? Are you looking? Is that a track under there? You got 2 skis sticking out of your. Not a beat, Dave. So, all right, we'll take a break. We'll see if we can get Austin Theriault on the line and see, see how much info he's going to give us of what is coming up. And I know he's got some exciting things in the works.
Award Champs LLC is Southern Maine's premier award supplier and official award supplier for many of the area's top organization and events. If you're in need of an award for a sponsor, employee recognition, fundraising event, or an entire sports organization, call Todd Mead at Award Champ. They provide the best for less with competitive pricing like the big online firms, but give you the personalized service you can only get from a local supplier. When you're in need of awards or personalized gifts, call Award Champs, where they'll help you reward your champion.
We've got the car you've been looking for at OT Motor Sales. Shop online at otmotorsales.com.
Welcome to Mainely Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainely Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and you've heard reference to the Young Gun competition a couple times on today's show as we were talking to Corey Bubar. Well, now we have the winner of the Young Gun competition, which it seemed like it was just yesterday, huh, Austin? But it was 2 years ago when you got to take that K&N car down around Loudon.
Yeah, Steve, it's good to be with you. That was definitely an exciting weekend for me. You know, get out on the track with all those drivers and in a different car, a bigger car. You know, the K&N car being so much heavier and driving so much different than what I was used to.
But the nice part is you didn't, as a racer, just settle and say, well, I've made it and I've raced at Loudon. You kept going, and you know, you found yourself in the Brad Kozlowski deal down south, which, you know, sad to know, and a lot of people probably aren't aware. I know that because I got asked it this morning if you were doing it again next year. But that deal all folded up, huh? Brad pulled the plug on his Super Late Model program.
Yeah, the Super Late Model development program, they pulled the plug on that at the end of 2013 to focus more on the truck side of things. And, you know, I know Ryan Blaney, and you know, they have a new driver this year, and between Joey and Brad, you know, they got 2 full trucks running full time in 2014. So I think they just wanted to give themselves the best shot at winning the championship this year.
No. Well, you know, the sad part is it left a guy like you scrambling, you know, really scrambling. So, but you're making do. I know you're working real hard on 2014 and trying to put some things together that'll be real excited for the race fans up here in Maine. But, you know, until that comes together, you still got your Super Late Model program. You traveled down to Speedfest, had a podium finish, and, you know, you had a shot to win with even less than 10 laps to go.
Yes, Steve. I mean, that's all you can ask for. We had a pretty exciting race down at Speedfest, and that deal came together really quickly. And you got to thank everybody that made it possible. Obviously, things like that, you know, as quick as it all came together, you really can't expect to run as well as we did. So really excited about how that race went, and like you said, we're really working hard on 2014. 2013 was a fun year, and I got a lot of experience being here full-time, being in North Carolina full-time. But we're really looking at 2014 as a year that obviously super late model racing is what I've done and love to do, and probably will continue to do some down here in the south and obviously up north. But we're just looking at all the options for this year, and hopefully sometime in the near future there'll be some things that we can announce. And but until then, and until everything is signed, and until everything is really to a point where I'm not afraid to go out on a limb and say what's going to happen, I just rather be safe and just talk about 2014 as a year that's going to be really exciting for me and as well as the race fans and pretty much everybody that's been around me and been a part of the success that I've had up to this point.
Oh, that's good. But have you put a schedule together as far as the super late model goes with 2014, and when we can expect to see you up here in the Northeast racing your super late model?
I have a tentative schedule together for this year, looking at maybe six races up north between Oxford and Beech Ridge. That is subject to change depending on how everything else works out, but I definitely will be a part of racing in Maine this year. And like I told you, it's more fun for me and to be able to come back up and race with the guys that I started with, and every time I come up, it's a challenge. It's not like there isn't any competition up there. I mean, you got to be on your game every week in and week out, and it's a place for me to continue to challenge myself. And the team, got a good team. They've been with me from the start, so it's just really cool to be able to go back up there and compete at the level that the competition that you guys have up there.
Yeah, and when you ran the late models, you had a couple of podium finishes at the Oxford 250, but I know that race is still huge in your mind, as it is in most young drivers. You want to win that race, and it's just one of those races that once you've won it, you're always talked about as the guy that won it. They're in the articles when they write it, and they mention Bush and Harvick and Craven and Lindley and Rowe, and then they mention the other young names, Travis Benjamin now, and such a big deal. So I'm going to imagine that's on your schedule, huh?
Yeah, the Auction 250 is on a lot of people's schedules, and talking to even guys down here, it's one of those races that's definitely on the radar, especially for me and my team. It's come up short several times, and it's just be nice to kind of check that off on our schedule and on our and the races that we've won. But it's like you said, it's not a cakewalk. There's tough guys. There's guys from up north. There's guys probably coming from down south, and it's going to be an interesting race.
All right. Well, no, that's good, and I appreciate you kind of giving us a little insight. I know a lot of the fans up here in Maine like to still follow along with you and your career, and I know there's hopefully a big announcement coming over the next month or so, and look forward to having you back on the show after you finally put things together, and we can talk to you again and about the definite 2014 plans.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show, Steve, and likewise, I'm really excited. Hopefully everything comes together for this year, and would love to come back on your show to talk about it.
All right, Austin. Well, good luck, and keep working hard, and I'm sure good things are going to come to you, and look forward to hearing about them the next time we speak to you, hopefully within the next month.
Thank you, Steve. Take care.
All right, that's Austin Theriault down south, still trying to put things together. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back on Mainly Motorsports.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel. Moody's Collision Centers, now with 7 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, Portland, Sanford, Lewiston, and now South Portland. Visit us at moodyscollision.com.
Get the right car at the right price. OTMotorsales.com.
Mainely Motorsports TV, brought to you by
Bentley Saloon, Route 1 in Arundel. Stop by and see why me and my friends say, who has more fun than us? We do.
Clark's Car Crushing, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
All right, Greg, we got 2 weeks, right? Or is it a week and a half? When's racing preview? February 21st and 22nd.
Why do I got to know when it is?
Because you got to tell me to be there.
It's the 21st and 22nd.
21st and 22nd of February, school vacation week,
Yep.
over at the Portland Expo. Lots to see and do, but probably the biggest news to come out of is what?
Buying a raffle ticket for the mod.
Buying a raffle ticket for the mod.
And if you're there, you're going to win a $500
Yeah,
sponsorship.
I'm going to give you a $500 check. If your name's drawn and you're in the building, you get the car, and hopefully you're close enough you can go get your trailer.
So you're selling the raffle tickets to people, they can win the mod. They're $20 a piece, correct?
Yeah.
So then, and if they're there, they get a $500 sponsorship if they're there, and they get to push it out that night and put it on their trailer. If you win it, you better bring a trailer because you're taking it that night.
Well, you can, or I'll bring it here and you can come get it.
So, but you were telling me a story about you went to McDonald's and what happened?
Yeah, go figure, huh? Me at McDonald's. Go figure. But yeah, guys,
I seen you more as a Wendy's guy, but
no, I like Wendy's number 2, no cheese, only ketchup and mayo, large size with a Coke, light ice. I've done that
I'm a number
before,
6.
too.
I'm a number 6.
But anyway, enough about our eating habits. Lost my train of thought. Where
McDonald's.
Was I? Oh, McDonald's.
Raffle
yeah.
tickets.
Guys telling me he's building a Wildcat. Ed Pierce.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you know what you need? He goes, yeah, I need some of those raffle tickets. Here's $100. Bought
There you
5
go.
raffle tickets. So, I mean, we haven't sold a lot. I mean, we really haven't. I mean, as of right now, me and Jake are losing money. So probably be Jake's last business venture with me. But it's all about being talked about. We talked about it at breakfast,
Yeah.
right? What's my theory?
It's not like we haven't promoted it.
Like, do I care if you like me?
No.
Do I care if you don't like me?
No.
What do I care about? That you have an opinion about me. That's all I care about.
And you're being talked about.
Well, I don't need to be talked about. I just want you to have an opinion about me.
Well, if
Whether
somebody's
you
got
like
an
me-
opinion about you, they're talking about you.
No, obviously people don't talk about me. They just either like me or don't
Oh,
like
really?
me. If my name comes up, oh, that guy cool shit, right? Deep again, Dave. Or,
This is the swearing show.
oh, yeah, this is a swearing show. But, no, it's, I mean, somebody for $20 is going to win themselves a race car.
Yeah, really. I mean, unless they bought more than one ticket, which is perfectly fine. You can buy 28 tickets if you want to, just for a nice round number.
Yep. Yeah, no, exactly.
You can buy as many as you want.
How many are you going to buy?
None.
Why?
Because I don't need to own a race car.
You could sell it and make money.
I don't have to, if I don't want a race car.
You could sell it and make money.
Yeah, but I would never sell it.
Well, why not?
Because I just wouldn't.
You can win it for 20, sell it for 40, double your money, look like a hero. And a zero all at the same time. Right?
I would never sell it for 40.
Why? Then sell it for 1,000. Sell it. The guy that...
I'm not telling you how many I'm buying, okay?
So we are
Leave me
buying.
alone.
So this is the guy that was buying scratch tickets. Everywhere you go, you buy scratch tickets, but you won't buy a raffle ticket on the car.
Yeah.
Really?
Just leave me alone.
Oh, Jeff, meet Sissy Emerson. Right?
Yeah.
No, but it's going to be good, and I'm excited. I don't care who wins it. We took a chance. It was a neat concept.
So we've talked the mod into the ground. You should own the thing or a raffle ticket. For $1 extra, if you have a losing raffle ticket, Steve Perry will sign it. He'll autograph it for you at the show if you catch him at the show.
He'll never catch me because it's basketball weekend. I'll be down in the Civic Center sleeping in a tent buying tickets, right? No, I'll be there. And this week's show, next week there won't be a regular airing of the show on Wednesday.
Yep.
Because of
the
basketball tournaments in Augusta. So we will tape next week's show. So everybody pay attention. So as soon as it's done, we will post it on our website, mainlymotorsportstv.com, and we will post it on Facebook because there's going to be some other announcements. It'll be able to be seen on PXT in the morning on Saturday.
Right. And on mainlymotorsportstv.com.
On our YouTube channel and everything.
Yep.
Because there are going to be some announcements about the Pit Crew Challenge. I wanted to announce it on this week's show, but I think I am going to have it. I just got to work all the details out. And everybody that saw it at Augusta had a lot of fun. What's that for?
That was my interpretation of the Mike Lux.
Oh, yeah. So you're watching this week's show, which is February 12th. The February 19th edition won't be aired because of basketball going on in Augusta, but we will have it on, and it'll probably come on some different times on Time Warner Channel 9 that you won't see, but it'll be on PME or PXT on Saturday morning.
Right.
But by that time, you know, I don't want to say it's too late for Racing Preview in the mod, but we want to get information out about the Pit Crew Challenge and some of the stuff, you know.
Yeah, and Racing Preview is what it is. It's a quick 2-day in and out show basically.
Yeah.
We go in on Friday morning, we go out on Saturday night.
Big contingents of cars from Beech Ridge.
Yeah.
Oxford.
Yep.
Pass.
It's in their backyard.
Star Lee, the vintage organization, bringing some Dave Kudemarsh stuff. So it's a chance to meet the drivers, and I've always said, always easier to catch Corey Bubar and Rusty Poland and guys like that walking around when they don't have racing on their mind,
right,
than it is at the racetrack.
Well, how do they not have, they just said during their interviews that they had racing on their mind pretty much all the time.
Well, you're going to be obviously there to talk racing with them, but they're not focused on...
Yeah, they're not going to have... they're not going to be focused on getting their car better at the track and stuff like that is what you mean. Because obviously they're going to have racing on their mind. They just said they talk about it, and then they're at a racing show walking around.
Oh, okay.
This is a day of arguing, swearing and arguing.
Oh, you're bad for me. It must be because we get the young crowd in.
It's because I ate a full breakfast.
You ate more than one full breakfast. You could have fed half of Lewiston down all them. Yeah, you literally, I mean, I've never seen anybody come back with a plate, and it's like you have to wonder if there's a plate under the pile of food, right? How many times did you come back?
I didn't. When I got there, you were on number 2.
Yeah, but I just eat small portions.
I had 1.
I'm going back to the gym.
Oh, you are?
Well, they reinstated my membership.
Why did they take it away?
Well, I was overusing it. I thought it was unlimited. I could go as many times as I wanted, and I overused my membership, and they took it away.
So who was paying you to use your membership?
No, I wasn't overusing my membership. Are you nuts? Those gyms suck. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. We had, started off with Rusty Poland, Corey Bubar, 2 of the young drivers.
From Wyndham.
Pass, Pass Sportsman, last year Pass Super Late Model, now back at Beech Ridge. Sprinkled a little you in. Then we talked to Austin, who's got big news in
the works.
And we'll have it. Yeah. We'll have it. I mean, I talked to him off the air, and he's going to call me, as soon as, and we'll get him on the air and be able to tell everybody. So pretty exciting, and anybody, we do that. You might not like racing. Real quick before we finish, it reminds me of the old ACT days. Okay, ACT would come into town. You might not be a Mike Maeda, Bob Randall, Mike Johnson fan. Couldn't stand them on a weekly basis.
And this kind of goes with what Corey was saying earlier about the 250, the Beech Ridge crowd.
But now they're your guy because they're racing the outsiders. And,
the hometown
I think that's
guy.
Austin.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see him succeed because, when he does come back and race with them, like, wow, I raced with that guy, and, getting to watch him, whether it's on TV or following along on Speed 51, or, representing, and there's a kid that he hasn't forgotten Maine, and that's a nice part about him. So. But for Greg, all the guests we had today, come up with some great ideas. Our girlfriend show, that's going to be a fun one. I'll put some work into that one. And we hope you all enjoyed this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports. And make sure next week you'll find it on our Facebook page or our website sooner than the Saturday morning. That's it. What's it say?
It's a wrap, Dave.